Okay, let's see. Reacting to Kamala Harris choosing Tim Walz as her running mate from Joseph Robinette Rogan from yesterday.
The Joe Rogan experience.
If someone is going to inherit your soul, they don't want it bogged down with bad habits.
Right. Yeah, well, they don't want it to be evil. They want
Right.
it to have negative energy attached to it and the karma of killing a bunch of people.
Right.
Like, who wants Dick Cheney's soul? You know? The aliens do have that dude.
Remember when he shot someone and then the guy apologized to
Yeah.
him? Isn't that nuts?
You know how gangster that is?
Yeah.
You shoot a guy in the face and the dude's like, yeah, I look like a bird. Don't worry about it.
I
Yeah.
look like a deer. Is there any way to you that we're not being gaslit like to hell by Kamala Harris?
In what way?
Like, wasn't she like a joke even among Democrats?
Uh-huh.
Like 10 seconds ago? Like literally,
Sure.
like a day ago.
Yep.
And now it's like the country's rallying around.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's because, and I will repeat this over and over again, and I said this over and over again. So did Edgar Mentum. There was a poll that came out in the New York Times. A couple months prior to the swap that happened, that showed that a generic no-name Democrat was outperforming Biden by 25 points. 25 points. Okay? I saw that and I said, wow, it sure seems to me like Americans don't hate Democratic policies. They just hate whoever the Democrats have put forward. I also pointed to the down ballot races in contested Senate seats, where the same Democrats that were now not faceless Democrats, but actual candidates like Amy Klobuchar and things like that, were actually outperforming Biden up until the moment of the swap by 10 points. This to me showed that Americans were not angry at the Democratic Party. They were not angry at the Democratic policies. They were angry at who was at the top of the ticket. Something important to consider. Why did I describe all of this? Because Kamala Harris is a generic Democrat. She is basically a fucking blank sheet of paper. Okay? That's it. That's why there is so much momentum. The fact that she is younger than Joe Biden, the fact that she is more dynamic, more vibrant than Joe Biden, the fact that she's a woman when this is going to be a race about women's reproductive rights. That's the reason why there's so much momentum. She is a generic Democrat through and through. Okay? How was she a blank sheet of paper when she was the VP? Because VPs, if picked to not outshine the P, like Kamala Harris was, are blank sheets of paper.
What? I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even.
we're so easily manipulated, and they're all doing it in lockstep. Yeah, no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. She polled as the least popular vice president of all time.
Yeah.
She is, I had dinner with a friend of mine recently who actually knows her. He says she's very smart, but when she gets in front of a camera, she locks up and she's just not good at communicating, and she tries to go off script, and
she's anything but generic. Kamala Harris is the most generic Democrat. What are you talking about? Kamala Harris is a generic Democrat. When she was a senator from California under the Trump administration, she, much like the rest of the Democratic Party, ran on a fuck ton of progressive policy positions. She ran for president on the progressive campaign when she was going up against like other obviously significantly more popular progressive candidates. Okay? She got owned for that reason. She was so forgettable in the actual Democratic primaries in 2019. Okay? Policy-wise, she's just a Dem. That's it.
Whenever you're talking in front of a large group of people, there's a bizarre stress and pressure that really constricts your ability to communicate.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
As of the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's weird. And this is just you and me, right? This is just you and me. And now imagine you and me, but we're in front of 15,000 people that are hanging on our every word, and you're kind of free-balling, and maybe you really haven't even done the research. Like someone's asking you how you're going to fix the economy, you right? And then you have some the problem is everybody needs money because the bills, and we're working on that. Like what?
Well, and that's so obvious when, with the passage of time is significant, and the significance of the passage of time is significant because of the passage of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's someone who is basically like a kid in the 5th grade who's writing a book report, but they haven't read the book.
That's every time I see her on camera, that's all I can think is that she's the kid who didn't do her homework.
Right.
Because she just has that vibe. Did you see the clip of her talking about how dare we wish Merry Christmas to people?
No.
Yeah, she does this bizarre rant about how we shouldn't be wishing Merry Christmas to anyone.
Is this when she was a senator?
I don't know. It's recent.
It's recent.
Yeah.
Really?
It's so strange that that was her. That's the only time I've seen her passionate about anything on camera.
Come on, really?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no,
I've seen the one she was telling that people need to be woke. Everyone needs to be more woke.
Oh,
you should
yeah.
be more woke. You should figure out who's the wokest. And try to be the wokest, but you should, everyone should be more woke. And she's laughing. It's like, what the fuck?
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Wait, what the fuck? Do they think that she's anti-Merry Christmas? Do you think that is the context of that is that she is anti-saying Merry Christmas? The speech was in response to a very recent mass shooting, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Bro, this is... Yeah, man, keep running the fucking war on Christmas narratives. Yeah, that's what the Democrats are running on. War on Christmas. So they found a clip, ripped out of context, and played it and took it as a fact. It's just contextually speaking, that is literally the fucking dumbest context. Okay? You have to be so unimaginably primed that you have lost parts of your brain that normally operate where you go, this doesn't pass the smell test. I know this from how my haters fucking clip me out of context all the time. I know that. There are a lot of people who are just genuinely primed into fucking hating someone. So they just go, I bet that she's just anti-Merry Christmas. That's so stupid. And then here she is saying Merry Christmas, she's pro-Merry Christmas. What's going on? Oh, I guess she's flip-flopping on Christmas. Nobody cares about that. Reddit thread on this topic on the Joe subreddit. It's so obvious that the context in the clip is some court decision where kids didn't get justice around Christmas time is not going to get people, is not going to do with people generally wishing others Merry Christmas. It shits me that people believe this. Joe's gone full boomer. His famous bullshit detector is a dead battery for years now. What is that clip from? Let's go find it. Let's find that. Trump falsely claimed Harris doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Former U.S. President Donald Trump made the claim at an August 3rd, 2024 rally. Trump told the crowd at an August 3rd rally, Harris, ready? 2 words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Bro, first of all, it's August. Basically, the accusation less than 5 months from Christmas holiday was that Harris, while setting her sights on the White House, did not want anyone saying Merry Christmas. However, this broad claim was both false and nothing more than the lament or latest chapter in what has become known as a war on Christmas, a familiar theme of seemingly imaginary persecution promoted at past Trump rallies. The Fox article, this is where it comes from. Then Senator Kamala Harris warned Americans not to say Merry Christmas until there was a permanent status for some illegal immigrants, amid a Trump-era battle over prosecutions for some illegal immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. It was about dreamers. According to NBC News, article linked in the Fox News story and photo posted on NBC Latino X account, the video showed Harris speaking at a news conference for the DREAM Act rally at the United Methodist Building near the U.S. Capitol. Now, really, what's really funny about that is that Dreamer Protections was at 90% approval rating. 90%. It was so popular that Trump had to actually go back on the Dreamer status and basically put it on the back burner. Yeah. So I think that the context of this story obviously makes people understand exactly what the fuck she's saying, unless you are brain broken, especially because it's such a non-issue. Nobody hates Christmas, man. Nobody's the fucking Grinch. Like, what are you, a child? You're literally like, the Democrats are the Grinch. They want to steal Christmas. Yeah. Iman Khalif won the gold medal, by the way. Algerian boxer Iman Khalif wins gold medal at Paris Olympics after facing scrutiny over misconceptions about her sex. Which is a wild way to fucking describe the situation. It was just trans panic maxed out, which I'm sure they'll go. They'll probably fucking go even nuttier now. Shitstorm incoming. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when we're just like at the mercy of some of the most insane people? Why isn't the Olympic institution defending her? They have. What do you mean? Bro, her opponent came out and apologized for leaning into the trans panic shit, but it doesn't even fucking matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These people are not operating on what the truth is. They don't care. They've like hallucinated and locked themselves into a fucking right-wing bubble. Anyway, we are currently watching another version of this. Okay? We are currently watching another version of this exact same phenomena. Female boxer from Algeria that is like pretty fucking anti-LGBTQ, by the way, right? Where it's illegal to be gay or trans, wins gold medal in the women's boxing division. Right-wingers refuse to admit that she's a woman and go off with trans panic regardless. But it doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter what the truth is. Just like it doesn't matter what the truth is to these fucking dinguses either. Like, they literally think Kamala Harris is like saying, I'm going to be so mad if you say Merry Christmas. Don't ever say it.
She invoked Greta Thunberg a little bit there.
Oh, that's so nutty.
Yeah.
How dare we?
How dare we? How dare you?
Yeah. No, we're definitely being gaslit. Yeah. And not only that, here's the big one, right? She wasn't elected, right? No. She was appointed vice president, and then they didn't do primaries. They had no primaries for Joe Biden, and now all of a sudden she is the nominee because he's stepping away. And so then they bring in her, and they bring in this other guy who's radical from Minnesota. That's the vice president, who...
Like, the craziest thing is, like, Tim Walz, if Joe Rogan wasn't so insanely fucking right-wing pilled, like, if he wasn't so insanely red-pilled, he would look at a guy like Tim Walz and be like, he's awesome. But he's hitting the fucking right-wing talking points like he's fucking Brian Kilmeade, dude. What do you mean, radical? If Kyle Kalinske sat down with Joe Rogan right now and explained to him Tim Walz's positions and the fact that he owns no stocks, okay, that's like so good for normies, dude. So good for average, like middle of the ground, moderate to like moderate right normies. They love that shit. 24-year veteran, and then spent most of his time like dealing with Veterans Affairs in Congress, literally fucking fed children. Paid family leave. These are not things. These are not individual policies that Joe Rogan would consider to be radical. This is a man who has literally been like, yeah, I'm pro Bernie Sanders. Doesn't own fucking stocks. If someone were to sit down and explain to Joe Rogan who Tim Walz is and what his positions are, he'd be like, oh, dude, that seems like a great guy. If he watched one video of Tim Walz, I don't know, hanging out with his daughter, going to the fucking state fair, he'd be like, oh, man, actually, never mind. Maybe I was misled. Okay? But because he's getting so much right-wing commentary on his entire timeline, it's like so obvious that it's broken his brain.
He believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13. Another one is... abortion up until 9 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. Obviously, there's reasons why people medically would like if the woman's life is in danger, if the child has something wrong, it's not going to live. There's reasons why they choose to do things like that, but that stuff scares the fuck out of people. He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like a
Bro, he's what?
Somali flag.
Dude! He's so brain broken. He's so brain broken. He's so brain broken. He's literally so brain broken. Dude. Oh my God. Brother, you are so fucking stupid, dude. You are so fucking stupid. Someone needs to take his Facebook away and his Twitter away, dude. You need to tap out. You need to fucking dial it back. Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
You haven't seen that?
no.
Yeah. Show that video. So the video of him taking down the Minnesota flag and he replaced it with the new flag that looked.
Dog, it doesn't look like the fucking Somali flag, number one. Number two, it was a fucking fan contest. It's not like Tim Walz did the flag, dumbass.
Looks a lot like the Somali flag.
Wow.
Minnesota has a huge population of Somalis in it.
Well, isn't what's her face?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her face?
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's a video of him doing it.
Man.
Well, okay, well, let's see the video.
Jamie, shut the fuck up, Jamie. Let me do my thing. Hey, Jamie, I'm in the pocket. Okay, I'm going ultra instinct. Okay, I'm doing right wing memes. Shut the fuck up, Jamie. Talking about some shit in the background.
But they did change the
Jamie, shut your bitch ass up.
Minnesota state flag, correct?
Sometimes the false.
Yeah, that's the problem with like fact checkers. Some of these fact checkers are completely full of shit.
They are.
Like you're just trying to debunk something, especially now when there's
No, yeah, you're right. Fact checkers are full of shit because they said that it was a fan contest, which it was, that the people voted on, which was the truth. That all of that stuff is actually fake. What's real is he's secretly a Somali man. Yeah, no, Tim Walz, dude from fucking like Nebraska or whatever, farmhand growing up, football coach, teacher, 24-year veteran. He's actually a secret Somali. Oh my God! Wait until this motherfucker finds out that he speaks Mandarin. Oh my Lord! Wait until this dude finds out Tim Walz speaks Mandarin. Holy shit!
all the scrutiny being paid attention to what this guy's done.
Yeah.
What have you? What's the false stuff, Jamie? It's not the flag itself, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I typed in. I was just trying to even get to it. A whole bunch of stories were popping up. I'll just show you this. Like, no, he didn't give him a Somali flag. No, he didn't change it to resemble Somali. False Somali.
But
state
what does
flag.
it look? Okay, but what does it look like now?
That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay, on the left is Somali flag.
At least Joe Rogan gives us cognitive dissonance in real time once again, dude. He has so many of these moments. There's going to be like an 8-hour-long compilation of Joe Rogan facing normal facts and just being like, well, I didn't know. Why does it lie?
On the right is the Minnesota state flag. Okay, same color as the Somali flag, a white star, a different white star in it.
It's not the same color and it's not the same flag. It is so insane, dude. The account that you are posting, the account that you are taking into consideration is Andrew Torba, the Nazi who owns the Nazi platform Gab. You are not trusting your intuition. You're not trusting your own maybe personal critical thinking skills or whatever remains in that fucking ape head of yours. And you are instead trusting Andrew fucking Torba, the Nazi who owns Gab, the Nazi website for Nazi pedophiles. Oh my God. Holy shit, dude. What the fuck?
Like the Somali
Full brainlet, dude.
flag, very different than the original Minnesota flag. And there's the video down below that. That's when he changes it out. So he takes out the Minnesota state flag. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Turn the volume up, please, so you hear him say that.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
So he gets the flag, picks it up, moves it out of the way, and replaces it. Look at this.
We, as a society, we're not equipped to deal with the internet. Every single person, we as a society are not equipped with the to deal with the democratization of information dissemination. Everyone has now become the email. So Zoomers don't know this. And Generation Alpha, if you're in here, you don't know this thing that when we were growing up, our parents used to believe. It was called email chains. Saul. Okay? Chain letters, email chains. Back then, they would do like these crazy, like email this to 10 people or else like you're going to be cursed or whatever, right? If you don't send this to like 10 other people, if you don't send this email to like 10 other people, you'll be cursed for life. And our parents and our grandparents believed that shit, right? They did. They were scared. But luckily, there was not a broad network that actually connected all of those people who believe in that kind of stuff so that they could all get together and collectively go, no, it is real. The email chain stuff that I saw is real. Okay? But now with the internet, you're on Facebook and they fucking believe that shit.
There, that's better.
Is it?
Why is that better?
I don't know.
Why do you care what the flag looks like, first of all? And why do you get to change the flag? How crazy is that the governor gets to change the flag? Like, who else is involved in that decision to change the flag?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Usually it's a big event. They let people pick, there's
Right. No, we
voting
have a
on
bunch
it,
of people
picking on
that's
it.
a high population of Somalis in your state. I would imagine they would want to try to get that flag a little closer to home.
Yeah. The worst incident of fact checking was the quid pro quo Joe clip where Biden brags about.
Oh, I guess we're moving on. I'm going to look up the Somali percentage. Hey, guys. We did it. 64,354 Somali people got together that make up a whopping 1.25% of the entire Minnesota state population. They got together like the pirates that they are and took over this, democratic process. Joe Rogan, if you have been watching him over the course of many, many years, like I have, is a in real time example of what happens to your brain when you watch and read too much right-wing garbage. This is literally a perfect demonstration. Like, he has gotten progressively dumber over the course, especially accelerated post-pandemic, especially accelerated when he moved to Austin, Texas. He is a perfect example of what happens when you do too much right-wing commentary, when you read too much right-wing shit.
That time that he withheld $1 billion of aid to Ukraine
So they fire a prosecutor.
to fire a prosecutor that we now know his son worked for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you type that in, Snopes or whatever would tell you just like, oh, that didn't happen. Biden, there was no quid pro quo, and Biden didn't want the prosecutor fired. That is because he didn't know that his son worked.
Dog, you're just objectively wrong. His son didn't work for the prosecutor, you fucking idiot. Also, not only are you wrong, But if his son worked for the prosecutor, then it would be still against his best interest to advocate to fire the prosecutor. So not only are you wrong, but you're so stupid that even in the wrong argument that you're making, you still are literally not showing a conflict of interest, rather lack thereof. Hunter Biden worked for Burisma. The prosecutor was refusing to prosecute Burisma. He was also considered to be too corrupt by every group involved in, I don't know, Ukrainian affairs in general. Republicans and Democrats alike petitioned international organizations, petitioned the Obama administration at the time to push Ukraine to drop the prosecutor. Hunter Biden, working at Burisma, was benefiting from this prosecutor not being dropped. Those are the facts. It was so stupid to make an argument like this because while Hunter Biden is a beneficiary of nepotism and did not deserve the job that he got at fucking Burisma, obviously, and lied to Burisma about his access to the White House to be able to get that job, Joe Biden's decision to remove the prosecutor from his role was not actually one that helped Hunter Biden. As a matter of fact, it harmed Burisma and it harmed Hunter Biden. But the hilarity of the situation is that this fucking dumbass doesn't know the actual, he doesn't even know what the actual, he doesn't even know what the actual false information is. He said, Hunter Biden worked for the prosecutor that Joe Biden ended up firing. That doesn't make sense, dumbass. Then that means Joe Biden worked against Hunter Biden even in the fucking false narrative that you're trying to present. I can't deal with right-wingers, man. They are so fucking stupid. The argument that he just presented is that Hunter Biden had quid pro quo with Joe in the Burisma situation, where he actually worked for the prosecutor that Joe Biden was advocating to fucking fire, that Republicans in Congress were writing open letters to demand Joe Biden fire.
Biden, there was no quid pro quo, and Biden didn't want the prosecutor fired. That is because he didn't know that his son worked for Burisma at the time. And it's like, how can you just say that's fake? And like, it's scary to me that people will read that and be like, "Oh, it's fake." It's like, no, look at it, like with your eyes.
Yeah, fact checkers are fucking dangerous, and it's really. I mean, what you're seeing is kind of treason. It's kind of what it is. If you're seeing that kind of fact checking, you're lying. You're lying, and you're intentionally misrepresenting facts, and you're doing so because you want a specific result politically.
Right.
And it should be illegal.
I agree.
Especially if people...
This is one of the funniest fucking stories because it just it doesn't hit. Like, Republicans tried it. It objectively didn't hit. It was so fucking out there and nobody gave a shit about it. They literally spent countless hours doing this investigation. It falled on its fucking face. It was genuinely such a dud that even Fox News dropped it. But Joe Rogan himself is still running with this narrative. That's how fucking far he is. At this point, I feel... Yeah, fell. Sorry, I said falled. I'm getting dumber by watching Joe Rogan. This is a real issue, okay? This is a very real thing that happens when you watch too much Joe Rogan. I watched 7 minutes and 50 seconds of Joe Rogan, and I've already become stupider.
Think of you as a fact checker, and what does that mean?
Minnesotan here who participated in the flag redesign. The final design melded two top contenders, then was given to a design team to clean up and modify. The star chosen was picked to represent both Minnesota as the North Star state. The blue on the left is an abstract shape of Minnesota. and the light blue contrast represents the sky. These guys are so fear obsessed. This was an extremely democratic process. Damn, we got a primary source in the chat. What? Prosecutor was going to investigate Burisma. Brandon withheld $1 billion to Poroshenko unless he dropped that prosecutor. You don't have the facts on this case. Stop defending the Biden crime syndicate. You are literally fucking stupid. You are the stupidest person. You are the stupidest person in the chat right now. Okay? No, the prosecutor was not investigating Burisma. The prosecutor was withholding his investigation on Burisma. The prosecutor was also withholding a bunch of other investigations that the UK wanted him to move on so they could seize the assets of certain people that he was supposed to prosecute. This was the reason why many international leaders were demanding that the Obama administration turn around and get this prosecutor to be dropped from the case. Unless you personally think that Hunter Biden has incredible, I love you, bro, but you are wrong. I follow this very closely. You followed it very closely and you're still in the wrong. What the fuck are we doing? Do you think that Hunter Biden has juice? So much fucking juice that he was able to not only motivate Joe Biden to do something that was inevitably going to hurt him, but also to motivate international global leaders. Like the UN was trying to drop the fucking prosecutor. Republicans in Congress were writing letters. Why do you think they were doing that? Do you think Hunter Biden was able to convince all of them? Do you think he just showed his dick to everybody and everyone was under his spell? Hunter Biden's got aura like that. Joe protected Hunter. He did so with a laptop too. Oh my God. No, don't move on from the original point of contention. Do not move on from the original point of contention. You're trying to hit multiple avenues now. Fuck the laptop. We can get to that later as well. Answer my question. Do you think Hunter Biden was able to motivate numerous European officials, a prosecutor in the UK? No, you're not demonstrating a pattern. Get back. No, you're not. You're not demonstrating a pattern. You are moving the goalposts because you don't know as much as I do about this issue. Listen to my words. Do you think that Hunter Biden was able to legitimately change the opinions of multiple independent UN-backed investigators, a prosecutor in the UK, numerous Republicans in Congress, three GOP senators call for Ukrainian government reform in 2016 letter, including Republicans, 8 senators, 5 Democrats, and 3 Republicans, Ron Johnson, Rob Portman, and Mark Kirk. Signatories acknowledge governmental reforms already made in Ukraine and expressed concern about the resignation of a cabinet minister who heralded those reforms. We similarly urge you to press ahead with urgent reforms to the Prosecutor General's office and judiciary. The unanimous adoption by the cabinet ministers of the basic principles and action plan is a good step. Do you think Hunter Biden was able to captivate 8 total senators, including 3 Republicans and 5 Democrats, to actively petition the American government at the time to get this prosecutor off? No, Hunter did not have that much influence, but Brandon did. Ukraine was and is a bipartisan project. So, wait. So you think Joseph Robinette Brandon went to Republicans and said, hey, can you write a letter to me? And the Republicans were like, yeah, we'll do it, sir. Republicans that are still in office, by the way, at the time of this article. I don't know if they're still in office, all of them, but like Joe Biden was like, hey, can you please write me a letter demanding that I drop this prosecutor so that I can do this without looking like I'm corrupt and trying to save my son, even though dropping this prosecutor actually harms my son because the prosecutor is refusing to follow through on a Burisma investigation that's been active for a while? Because if that's the case, considering that there was a United States House Oversight Committee investigation into the Biden family, why didn't those Republicans come out and speak and say, yeah, Joe Biden actually got us to fucking write this letter? I missed the chatter. Where is he at? Guys, Joe Biden sucks. Okay? You don't have to do all of this shit. Yes, he asked 50 directors or whatever the security community to write a letter to the laptop. No! We're not talking about the laptop. We're not talking about the laptop. You haven't been able to provide any counter sources. This conversation is not about the laptop. This conversation is about Hunter Biden and Burisma. Stop running away and moving the fucking goalposts. Get back to my question. Don't do this. You know exactly what's going on right now. Stop frantically Google searching and admit that you're fucking maybe not as knowledgeable. It's proof that Joe can get 50 people to sign a letter. Oh my God. You have provided zero evidence as to how Joe Biden got Republican senators to write a letter demanding that the Obama administration drop the prosecutor in Ukraine. Okay? This is entirely irrelevant to that point of contention. Getting like fucking security community members to talk about the laptop is completely irrelevant. That is an entirely separate case. So it's a good thing that those Republican senators didn't come out and blow the whistle on Joe, asking them to write a letter. Yeah, it's shocking that those very same Republicans that wrote that letter to Joe after Joe asked them to write that letter. So the 50 were all supporters of Joe. No, the 50... Chatter, I'm not doing your little rhetorical trick. We can have a conversation about the laptop later if you actually answer the questions I'm asking you about a totally separate case. This is completely irrelevant to the point of contention, no matter how hard you try to grasp at straws. Okay? You're moving the goalposts and you're demanding that I stay on your topic because you also recognize that you're in the wrong.
What does it mean to be a fact checker? The problem with facts is a lot of them are very subjective. You can find one small inconsistency or you could phrase a question in a certain way and have your answer false in a different way because you're just finding some nitpicky way to look at things. I've seen a lot of that to the point where
facts are not subjective. What the fuck?
you're like, that's not fact checked at all. You guys just fucking, you're gaslighting. It's just pure gaslighting.
This is what it says. Who picked the new flag?
State Emblems Redesign Commission tasked with choosing the new flag and seal made its
No, they're lying too. They're all Somali.
final selections this week, and the new design will debut next year. It follows 4 months of meetings, many spirited debates, and 2,500 submissions from the public sharing their ideas for the new symbols.
This is why they changed it. He said it was problematic.
Problematic. Oh, I love that term. Our current flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state, and I think it's more reflective of that. Okay, what was the original flag? There's concern with the scene depicted on the old flag, which many found offensive. First adopted in 1957, the flag showed a white settler tilling land as an indigenous man rides horseback. Indigenous members of the State Emblem Redesign Commission said it was harmful to their communities and promoted the erasure of their people from the land.
What?
Well, can I see what it looked like? Show me the original.
It's crazy because the person quoted in that article is Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, a name that you're probably unfamiliar with now, but you will most likely be very familiar with down the line. She is slated to be governor of Minnesota. She also happens to be of Native descent. There's probably some reason for her to refuse the old flag. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who was a member of the White Earth Band of Ojibwe, am I saying that right? I don't know. Refuse to use the old flag.
Of their people from the land.
What?
Well, can I see what it looks like?
She's from my tribe. I would like to be excited, but she reminds me of a certain tribal leader from her band, but I won't get into tribal politics here. Oh, no, I don't want to. Oh, no. Let's not get into that. No, a real native, not like Elizabeth Warren, like an actual native.
Like, show me the original, just get a photo of the original Minnesota flag.
Tribal politics are as follows. The very same divide that you have among leadership is from everything that I've read on the matter. Every single issue that you see in even democratic processes, like sometimes the division between rank and file union members versus the people who are at the leadership positions in the union, even if it's democratically aligned. Sometimes people will be at odds with one another. Same goes for tribal politics as well. A lot of the natives who are not a part of the the structure or in positions of power within tribes will sometimes have will sometimes be at odds with those who are in leadership positions. Stop saying natives. What? Indigenous people? Sorry. I'm trying to get my band to adopt unions, and all I would say is an uphill battle. Yeah. There are also the very same economic incentives. Sometimes if you cover earth protectors and shit like that long enough, you realize that there's always one group of indigenous people that are always down for fucking pipelines, okay? It's those who are oftentimes in the pocket of the oil and gas giants. There's always a group of people that'll be like, no, we're natives. We fucking love this pipeline, okay? You can always find a group that is, that stands to gain. Just like you can always find a group in native populations that is pro-Israel, for example. As a member of the Cherokee Nation, I give you the N-word pass. Okay, chill. I worked on White Earth Reservation in Minnesota. I'm white and was never told not to say natives. Yeah, no, people are being overly cautious. Some extremely online indigenous people are also, also overly cautious. So if people's only interaction with like indigenous people are online, they sometimes maybe hear from like influencers and whatnot and then think like that certain things are not allowed or appropriate. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, click on that. Let's see what it looked like. Okay. So there's a Native American on horseback. I see it though. And then there's a farmer tilling the land, a Native American on horseback. Is that problematic because Native Americans didn't really ride horses and people didn't really till the land? Like, I don't understand what...
There's a big controversy about that, actually.
Yeah?
Whether or not how long horses have been in North America.
Well, horses originated in North America.
What?
Yeah, horses originated in North America, including zebras. All of them originated in North America. Then they were wiped out, and they had been introduced into Asia and Africa and all these other continents, and then reintroduced back to America.
Right. I meant like
when people rode them.
Correct.
Right.
So a lot of people are saying that First Nations peoples had horses for a lot longer than Europeans had been in America.
It's certainly possible. There's certainly different segments, different North American tribes that were much better, including right here where we are, the Comanche. Mm-hmm. The Comanche were notoriously good at raising horses, and it was part of how fierce they were. They had so many horses, and they rode them so well, and they could ride sideways and shoot arrows underneath the horse's neck. But I don't know why that's so problematic. You got to replace it with something that looks a whole lot like a Somali flag.
Yeah.
The idea does.
Right. I like that he could have just read the article, which features the indigenous lieutenant governor of the state and I suspect probably mentions why it is considered, annoying and problematic and shitty, might have something to do with genocide. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that it has something to do with genocide, because that is what happened. So I didn't read the article, right? But like immediately, my first inclination is it might have something to do with genocide. Joe Rogan knows that the genocide of the indigenous population happened. But instead of doing that, he was like, what's problematic about it? That Indians are riding horses? Like that's what do you mean? Like, you can ask that question and then follow that up by getting an answer. Why did you just ask that question in a rhetorical manner only to just like make a joke about it and move on?
Doesn't look like a Somali flag is kind of crazy. I mean, it does.
It does.
It certainly does. It's certainly the same color. Certainly also has a white star. It's just a different white star.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, there's another fucking flag that has the color blue and white stars on it. That's insane. I can't do this anymore.
The flag doesn't bother.
No, not Somalia, the United States of America, or the state that he's currently in, Texas.
I mean, that much.
Israel. So many fucking flags have that.
People in Minnesota like it. Like, who cares? It's just a star and some colors. The real problem is when you hear discussions of things that are like openly Marxist philosophies, when you hear talk about equal outcomes and not just equal opportunity, but that we all need to arrive at the same place, equal outcome talk. There's only one way they can do that, and it's by...
What is it called? Vexillology? An inherently Marxist fascination. It's like, dude, I hate this full-blown Marxism, which is flag design.
Forcing you.
Well, it's by everyone having nothing.
Yeah.
That's the only way to have things totally equal.
Hell yeah.
Because you
Exactly.
can't have everyone have everything. That's impossible.
Right. There's no way. There's not enough resources. And so for equal distribution, that has to be enforced by law. So that has to be enforced by the government, and the government generally does not have equal. They have much more than you. And that's Fidel Castro in Cuba. That's
What?
North Korea. That's virtually every communist country that's ever existed. You have a military dictatorship.
No. Brother, no. No, you can't do that. You can maybe say that about North Korea, okay? But don't ever come for fucking Fidel like that. Don't ever come for Fidel Castro like that. You son of a bitch. You fucking ape. You don't know anything. Fidel Castro implemented land reforms on his own fucking family. Suck my dick, dude. Shut the fuck up. That's crazy. Bitch. What do you mean? Oh, it's just he owned all the land. The government did everything. It's like, as opposed to having slavery, which was cool. Bro, he knows. No way, dude. No fucking way.
Decides what you can and can't do with your time.
Sure.
And all under the guise of making it better for everyone. And that's exactly what they did to North Korea. When they took over people's farms, they said,
Google that old image. It has an indigenous person on horse holding a spear. The white farmer is tilling a field with a plow. It's racist as fuck. Yeah, the Minnesota, the land of savage natives, and obviously Minnesota, the land of savage natives, and also white people that were taming the land because they are advanced and peaceful. Tame the land and the natives. Less use of savage, please, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, man? And now, Minnesota, the land of Somalis.
said, we're going to take over the farm so that everybody has food. Yeah.
Probably better if you don't call us savage. Bro, do you think I'm... Oh my God. Oh my God. Chatters, shut the fuck up. I'm saying the depiction of natives there is to imply savagery, a racist trope against the indigenous population. That is why I am saying that. I can't believe how much time we spent on this fucking one Joe Rogan video. I'm losing my mind. We're going to move on.
Now everyone's starving, and the government has all the food. And if you kill a cow, they'll kill you. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts that people don't learn from history, and it's nuts that people who subscribe to this leftist ideology have this very distorted version of humans and how capitalism works and what's the benefits of it. I think there's a lot of parts of progressive ideology and philosophy that could be applied to society to make things better. I think if we funded more things the same way we fund the fire department, the police force, these are kind of socialist things, right? Everybody gets access to the fire department.
Right.
It's a part of being in the community. We all pay for it. Education is that way, but it should be much more funded, right? It should be much more prestigious, much better trained teachers, a more esteemed position.
Watch out, bro. You kind of sound Somali right now. You know what I mean? You're sounding real Somali with this attitude. Like fucking, what are you, Tim Walz? Talking about funding education and shit. Hey, yo, chill, Joe. That's radical DEI, socialist, Marxist, Somali politics right now that you're broaching on.
I feel the same way about law enforcement. They should be much more respected, much better trained.
Much more
put much more
respected.
resources into that and have them be integral and a part of the community and for the safety of the community. Not the bad guys who come in to pull you over because you rolled through a fucking stoplight. You know, that kind of shit.
Right.
And I think the problem is these people that have this idea of equal outcome, this is the worst version of all these leftist ideologies. The worst version is open borders, everybody should have everything, and then equal distribution of it. And then what always comes with that is they unarm the citizens. And if they don't unarm the citizens, you can't get away with any of this stuff. But as soon as you have no one has guns other than the police, everybody is forced to comply.
Yo, what is he talking about, bro? I'm done. I'm done with that. We're getting back to like real news.